Let's talk about where you might not want to be driving this morning with the snow coming down and the rain coming down and the mess that is also being created. Now, yesterday, some of our highest snowfall reports from Winter Storm Nova. You can see double digits here. University Heights, Iowa, 11.5 inches. Lincoln, Nebraska, 11 inches there. For some places, we were just snowing and snowing and snowing for hours. We could not get away from it. And that system has continued to push eastward. You can tell where we've got our front moving through. We've got some drier air that's building in behind it, but plenty of moisture as we've got a squeeze play moving toward the coast and taking that rain with it with this whole system that we've been tracking. Gary, I just checked your latest observations. You've still got some of that lake effect snow going on. Your wind's steady at 18 miles an hour, so that wind is cold. And while it is actually in the lower 20s, it feels like the single digits. We've got some of that lake effect snow all the way south of Traverse City as well. Cleveland, you're sitting at 29 with cloudy conditions. Here's the setup. We've got rain in the milder air closer to the coast, but where we're getting some of that cold air wrapping around that low pressure system and mixing with the moisture, you're getting the wintry weather, and that is giving us our winter alerts, winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. Now, the winter weather advisories for places like Buffalo and say Richland, you've got that possibility for a little bit of freezing rain and sleet at first before the snow moves through. Where we have the winter storm warning across northern Maine for places like Caribou, it's because those snow totals are really going to add up. The winds are going to be whipping. You could have some reduced visibility at times. You can see in that darker purple 8 to 12 inches of snow possible. Can you tell where the front is? Can you tell where the front has moved through and where it hasn't? We're sitting at 57 degrees in Scranton and NYC. Meanwhile, Watertown, it's 30 degrees. You've got snow coming down. Buffalo, 29, and snow icy in Burlington. So please be careful. Those roads are going to be slick. We'll watch these temperatures drop in cities like Albany once that front fully moves through and you get the full effect of that cold air moving in. So the rain continues along that 95 corridor for much of the day today. We finally start to see that kind of coming down as we head through the later part of the day into the overnight. But what is also going to be coming down are those temperatures. The temperatures behind the front took a nosedive. Just take a look at the 24-hour temperature change across the country here, the middle part of the country. We're talking about 20 to 30 degrees colder than yesterday at this time. Everywhere where you're seeing that purple and the little down arrows, that is significantly colder than it was yesterday morning at this time. And that's why you got to watch the Weather Channel. That's why you got to wake up with us on America's Morning Headquarters, Jordan, so you know that you need your jacket in Jackson, Mississippi, because it's 32 degrees colder.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone with the cherries.
I don't turn down the chocolate peanut butter either. I'm an equal opportunity ice cream employer unless it's cold outside, and then I don't want the ice cream. All right, let's talk about what I'm supposed to be doing, which is talking about the weather. We've got a couple different systems we've got to take a look at next week. Now, it's a tale of two systems, a tale of two lows. As you look at the Pacific Northwest, we've got our disturbance that's going to bring the snow and much needed precip still across the west. And then we're going to watch the second low. They all traverse the country and they eventually end up giving us a bit of a squeeze play and some really messy weather as we head through next week. Where you're seeing the pinks, it's indicative of very heavy snow adding up, and we will take it. I know we've talked so much about the snow out west. Of course, we're still dealing with drought across some of these regions. The Colorado River still a big story in terms of how dry it's been there. So we'll take this precip, we'll take the snow adding up. You'll notice that we've got the rain in the lower elevations initially, but the snow is really going to fall for days once it gets started. Certainly expecting some travel issues as this is going to add up in a big way. You're going to have some wind along with this system as well, so some reduced visibility. Here are our two disturbances by the middle of next week. You can see the first one still hanging out west there, the second one coming across the plains. And it is, again, that same setup where we've got the real cold air pushed up across the northern tier as you get into the eastern parts of the country, and then that ridge and the moisture and the warmth and the rain, and just absolutely no winter in sight south of that jet stream. Now the subtropical jet bringing us the warmth and moisture, and you can see the difference here. It's just going to be so widespread coast to coast, Jordan. So again, a lot to talk about next week as well.
Just relentless.
Nonstop.
When it melts and everything too, because Felicia, it's not just the ice falling off. There's ocean currents.
Nothing is disconnected from everything else.
Agree.
Everything is connected. Yeah. We're connected to the glacier, so we've got to save
Facts
it.
Are facts.
Facts are facts. Let's talk about what's going on. The weather is all connected too, from up and down the eastern seaboard at this point with the same system moving through. You're just getting different weather at this point. We're at 60 degrees in NYC, 57 in Boston. Meanwhile, it's 21 in Burlington. Now, eventually the cold air is going to build in. It's not going to be this cold, but we do have some of that winter weather falling in the northeast.